I wanted to give big updates on Trump's speech last week about communist China that you and I have been detailing for years. The documents have come out, but even more, you have federal court documents that they've told you not to release, but you're going to do that.
There's a dirty Venezuelan software package that lets you steal elections. It was in Smartmatic, where it was called SAES, Smartmatic Automated Election System. They bought an American company called Sequoia, and they put it inside Sequoia, where it was called WinEDS. That dirty package got shifted, and it's actually inside Dominion. They call their system Democracy Suite. They've been denying like hell that they have WinEDS. I'm going to prove to you that it is in their system. What's happened now is Liberty has come along. Actually, Liberty is just a new name on Dominion. It's the same corporation. So that dirty package is still inside. Trump released this last Thursday night, the CIA document summary of their own intelligence reporting 04 to 20. Document 2, they talk about how they have had persistent concerns that Venezuela was developing systems to cheat elections. Well, they did, in fact, develop that software, and it was the WinEDS that I just walked you through. They are acknowledging that, yes, Venezuela developed this, and they've been stealing or trying to steal their own elections with it. Let's go to an internal Dominion email, which I'm not supposed to show anyone. This is from 2011. A guy named Craig Short, contractor for Dominion, is talking to Sherry Hadsky. You're going to see in a moment. She's the Secretary of State of Louisiana. This is all about the WinEDS upgrade. Now, remember, you're going to see Dominions come out and say, we don't have WinEDS. No, we never did. That's all some junk from the past. But meanwhile, their internal emails, they're talking about upgrading their system. She says, hey, confidentially, if Democracy Suites, if this runs on Windows 7 and this WinEDS runs on Windows 2003, don't we need 2 servers? So she knew, and Dominion knew, that they were in fact still using WinEDS. And the guy confirms, yes, that we're going to need 2 servers. This is an email from Eric Coomer in 2020. He's running the elections in Chicago. He's writing a guy, Goran Obradovic, who's in Serbia. They're talking about setting up servers to process ballots as they come in. So there's a few days before the election. He says 30 minutes, 12,000 ballots. We may have some timing problems. We can set up the cartridges to load overnight as they come in scare quotes, and then come in, yeah. As they come in, meaning we're going to be uploading them, but pretending that these are ballots coming in from the field. We can then load them into the WinEDS. So here's Eric Coomer, the CTO of Dominion, acknowledging that WinEDS is being used in their system. He swore up, down, and sideways since then, as a Dominion, and he's saying our good Dominion machines don't have any of that WinEDS package in them. Here's a guy, Edmundo Rojas. You look on his LinkedIn. He's at Dominion Voting Systems, but he's also under contract as a senior product specialist to Liberty Vote.
Yeah, so they're rebranded. Don't worry, Republicans own it now. Everything's fine.
But here's another Dominion voting guy, again, writing to Coomer, establishing VPN connection into the virtual machines today to reach the county's electronic voting machines. And on the next page, our tablet arrives in Shanghai Customs. We're waiting for clearance. So the tablets you're voting on are actually going through Shanghai Customs, where China gets to edit them. This is all under what's Liberty Vote. Chinese-made equipment with Venezuelans who are all in our system, the Venezuelans here in the U.S. who are now working for Liberty Vote. You trace these Venezuelans back to the same university through Smartmatic and Sequoia, and now they're in different places running our elections in the United States.
A multinational corporate intelligence conglomerate.
Chinese, Iranian, Venezuelan, they're all in on it. It's one constellation of bad actors.
And it's the Democrats and the CIA, as you pointed out, contract people that hate us to do it, so they have plausible deniability. Oh, as they come in,
you get what's going on.
We preload the results before they come in.
What they really do is when they set up a Dominion server for some county, they set up next to it a second machine. That is the WinEDS machine. They run the election on this machine. All this stuff gets in. And what they're not telling anyone is it goes from the Dominion machine to this EDS dirty machine and then gets reported into the election reporting system. So before the results go from the county to the legitimate election reporting system, they're run through this WinEDS dirty Venezuelan software. They and only they even know it exists.
All right, we're here. Welcome to the show. It is, what is it? It's August 1st. Man, Time is flying. August 1st, 2026. Thank you for being here. What are we doing tonight? Some of that, a little bit of local news. Gavin Newsom. We're going to cover that, and we're going to cover what we know so far of Spain. We're going to get into that. We're going to also get hear me. I can hear myself. So I guess I can hear myself, but let me check and see if you can hear me. That's the wrong button. Just a second. Let me just double check. Make sure you can hear me because I hate that shit when you can't hear me. Yep, we're good. All right. So, what else are we going to get into? We're going to get into the communism of Spain. What's going on over there? We're gonna take a little trip down memory lane with Fauci for a second. We're gonna get back into the flock cameras a little bit. That's a big, very important part, and we're gonna do some Charlie Kirk stuff. The Charlie Kirk stuff is if you can open up your eyes a little bit and see what we have, maybe somebody can understand uh, what I see. Because I mean, I see something that's very different than what some other people are seeing. And it's fine to have difference of opinion. That's how we get to the truth. Whether I'm right or someone else is right doesn't really matter. The bottom line is we just keep plugging along until we get to the truth, wherever it's at. So we'll get into some of that tonight. We're also going to cover Trump talking today about oh yeah, he was talking about what's going to happen in the midterms if the Democrats get back in that whole same old song and dance. Which really, so far, I haven't seen any difference between Trump and the Democrats. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's the same animal, same head on both sides of the coin. So, we're going to cover that, and we're going to talk about Iran a little bit, and the most important thing, I think, really right now for us, because, yeah, I mean, the flock cameras are probably humongous. The voter ID stuff, if we can get voter ID, that will help a lot. I mean, no matter where you're at, if California can get voter ID, which I don't know if just because it goes on the ballot doesn't mean they're going to manipulate the vote, because that's what they do. But it's a pipe dream, and I'm just going to go along with the pipe dream until something happens about it. Looking for a video that I had that I don't see that I need. So somewhere along the way before we get to the Charlie Kirk stuff, I'll have to pull that one up because I don't see it here, but I know I have it. So, because I think it's important that we continue to show what we have, because a lot of people don't realize. I truly, honestly, really believe that Charlie Kirk was shot twice, once in the back of the head and once in the chest. I mean, any way you swing it, when you look at the trajectory of an escaping bullet outside front side of his neck, there's only one way for that to happen. It had to come in somewhere else, right? Well, and then the drones in the sky and all that stuff. We're going to cover it. I found the clip that I was looking for. That's great. It's a long clip, but we're going to go into it. We're going to break it down. We're going to stop it and start it a little bit and do a little bit of that stuff tonight. We don't usually break down video, but I think it's important because there's so much stuff out there, which is great. I think it's awesome. I think that what do I think about the exploding mic theory? I think I think the exploding mic theory is something that happened after Charlie was dead. That's how I see it. I believe that after you hear the 911 call, which I don't have it, I attempted to find it. I didn't look hard enough. I know I could have found it on like Candace's page or something like that. And if you, let me just say this, if you have stuff on that you're coming across, I really do appreciate the people that send me clips at john@inspectorweb.com. I do. I really do appreciate it because it really helps me because I can't see everything. I don't have 10, 15, 20 guys in the background or guys or gals in the background, doing this work. It's just me. So so I miss stuff and I don't see everything. And it seems like sometimes I'll go into the timeline and it just sends me in one direction. I literally have to go out, really exit out of the operating system and then go into it to get out of this because it's like end up in a tunnel. It's weird. Anyway, so unless I'm looking for specific stuff, sometimes I get in these rabbit holes and I get it. It's all algorithms. So anyway, so where we at? Let's get into this. Let's get into this voter ID stuff real quick. Let's just talk about it. Let's talk about Patrick Byrne and what he. Patrick Byrne came out last year and admitted that he was a CIA in the CIA operative, some form of CIA operative, and if I don't know if you remember, but in the 2020 election, Patrick Byrne was one of the analysts that was there during the election with Sidney Powell, and there was talk about how they literally broke into the White House to talk to Trump. Excuse me. And this whole bunch of stuff. Hello. That was weird. It buzzed in my ear. Hit me up in the chat if you can't hear me. Well, I guess you can't hit me up in the chat. Let me know you can hear me. How's that? Patrick Byrne. So he's been on the Dominion voting systems dealing with this whole thing. They've sued him, they've dropped the case, they've resued him. All this stuff's going on with them. Because remember during the voting, the whole 2020 election and forward, how people were there was like 18 lawyers that worked for Trump during the 2020 election. They all got indicted. Remember that? Well, during that whole time, they were all looking at all the different ways that they stole the 2020 election, which is, in my opinion, allegedly, I have to say that now because, everybody's getting cease and desist letters. So I have to say allegedly, strongly allegedly. How's that? Anyway, they were talking about Dominion and all the different companies that was part of that. And you heard part of it in that John Bound report right now that we just played. I have another John Bound report that covers more about the deep state election and stuff, but we're going to talk about Patrick Byrne for a minute because one of the things is he's always said that the mail-in ballots are a major issue, but the main issue is how they can input anything they want to come out of an election machine. Period. They can manipulate it any way they want without a ballot because it's connected to the internet, and it goes to China, and it goes to Venezuela, and it goes to all these other foreign countries that operate, including Iran. That's part of the reason we've covered it here a few times. That also there's talk that part of the reason why the main reason why we went over there and got Maduro was because of the election fraud, and the other thing why we're in Iran is because they were part of the election as well, election fraud as well in 2020. And you know how Trump's ego is; he won't let stuff go at all, ever. So let's get into it. Let's probably wasn't supposed to say that, but it's okay. It's all right. We'll just keep going here. Not breaking the chains here. I'm just talking. We're just having a little fun. Patrick Byrne, stand by.
I actually just sent your people 2 exhibits that should be put up next to each other.
Okay.
We actually can go through one of them quickly. I don't know if they can. One of them is an advertisement for a Liberty voting machine. Put that up alongside. Yeah, on the left is Liberty, the new version of Dominion, advertising. Here are our ballot marking devices. If you look on the right, this is an email. We've talked about this on your show, I think yesterday, from Dominion to somebody in China, and somebody in China writing back saying, meanwhile, the tablet arrives at Shanghai Customs and will be cleared next week. You'll get your tablets. Those tablets that are being discussed in that email coming from Shanghai, China, is this tablet now with a Liberty brand on it. You can't vote on this. It's compromised so many different ways. There's other emails that show they have an opportunity to edit the firmware. We talked about that yesterday. And the firmware establishes, if you can change the firmware, you can tell this thing to open up a port, download new software, don't make any log of it. It's completely unusable. So what Liberty is advertising today in their site is this stuff that secretly comes from Shanghai. And you were right, they fence it through Taiwan. They make it look like it's coming through Taiwan. It's from mainland China, and it's loaded up with what they want to load on.
Yeah, and so that was one of the things I'm doing a sound check while we're doing this. So I'm just gonna kind of talk with my secondary mic in, because what I was having problems with, I pitched yesterday. And I need to fix that because, and I think it was my soundboard. My kid came in, fixing my soundboard. Ear piercing, so. Yeah, it's not working right. That's for sure. I got to talk directly. It sounds like it's fading it out to me. Seem like it's not cross clearly. All right, we're going to do the best we can. If I have to change mics or change cords, I will, though. But stand by.
Drawing from newly released intelligence, Trump laid bare how Beijing exploited vulnerabilities in our election infrastructure through hacking, data theft, and coordinated influence operations.
Documents show that during this period, dozens of significant CIA and NSA reports about China's election targeting were kept out of the presidential briefing. These were briefings I would get almost every day. Everything was kept out that was of importance. One email among intelligence analysts admitted that they had, quote, deliberately massaged the presidential daily briefing to withhold information regarding Chinese activities related to the election. Another official inside the FBI wrote that she was running, quote, a shadow government, unquote, to keep intelligence about China's election meddling from becoming known and to keep it away from the honorable press.
And what's interesting is the left saying, well, we were actually in control of those agencies at the time. But the problem we always have with the deep state, which is exactly what it is that when you come in and have politicals in charge, you have people who are career bureaucrats underneath who really cause, they have a lot of power to keep things from you and to do things they shouldn't do.
He connected the dots to the engineered chaos of 2020, where a virus from China conveniently locked down the country, eroded election integrity, and paved the way for stolen data to install a compliant puppet regime.
We also received testimony from multiple intelligence community whistleblowers who reported retaliation for challenging the intelligence community's manipulation of intelligence on the virus's origins, once again revealing a clear pattern of suppressing dissent, silencing critics, and burying the truth.
NSA analysts openly admitted chopping up assessments and downgrading intelligence to bury links between Beijing's activities and the 2020 contest, even as the FBI under Director Wray drew an absolute red line against including dissenting views that China had indeed meddled.
And this was, Katie, like a massive effort, what they call a multi-domain operation. That means trade, it means diplomacy, it means open source information, it means social media. So all the levers of power China had to influence the US election. So there was clear evidence of political and personal bias, and intelligence is supposed to be neutral. So what we heard tonight from the president is an allegation that this intelligence was suppressed in order to harm him. And now we're seeing documents already which back up those claims.
The other thing that we blocked yesterday was the SAVE Act, right? Which was literally allow this administration to rig our democracy so that it would be hard for any Democrat in any state to win any election.
There you have Senator Alyssa Slotkin, nominally from Michigan, but really channeling her CIA training, admitting that her party can't win if the U.S. adopts the kind of voter identification laws that most of the other civilized nations in the world use.
We know that the Justice Department's compromised. We know they don't prosecute the Epstein stuff. We know that the Trump administration is deep in the swamp. But on the issue of the 2020 election being stolen, the evidence is overwhelming. And China, working with the CIA and others, that's in the emails that have been released. We knew it back at the time. The FBI, the CIA, NSA, they all sat there and said, we're going to cover this up. We're going to block this. We're not going to let the public or Trump or anybody know. They knew before the election, during, and after what happened. So it's about our right to vote. It's about the coup over this country.
Burn bags stuffed with damning 2020 fraud evidence hidden in safes and obscure offices point straight back to directives from the Obama administration, with figures like Brennan and Clapper orchestrating the suppression.
Barack Obama can now be summoned before a grand jury. He cannot take the Fifth Amendment because he has immunity from prosecution. He'll have to tell the truth. If he lies as a private citizen about what he did as president, he'll no longer have that immunity. And that is a trap that Obama is sitting potentially facing.
This wasn't incompetence, and it wasn't organic. It was a coordinated effort to protect a foreign adversary's gains while gaslighting the American people about the most secure election in history. John Bound reporting for the Alex Jones Network at alexjoneslive.com.
Yeah, that's a pretty wild report, actually, if you think about it. One of the things that is most revealing to me is the part where what's his name? John Porter from what the hell is that? One that Bannon's on. Active from my mic. I changed the cord, so hopefully it should be good. What the hell is his name? I can't think of his name. I always thought that I want to go on my little. I used to think that all these reporters and all these people that work for America, what is it called? America, that news outlet that Posobiec and all them are, Charlie Kirk's show, and all them are on this is right now. It'll come to me in a minute. My brain's like that. Anyway, I thought they were all like these really good reporters. And you know what? They're just like Fox News. They just tell you a bunch of crap. They tell you a bunch of lies. look what Fauci just did. Like he went in there and said, I plead the fifth 111 times, never answered one question, didn't answer any questions at all, period, zero. Zero questions, didn't answer any. And to think that Obama is going to get drug into the Senate and answer questions, come on. Like that's, and maybe I'm black pilled around it because I just don't think that anybody's going to be held accountable for anything ever because we haven't seen anybody get held accountable. The only ones got held that did get held accountable, they dismissed their charges. So it's like, what are we doing here? You know, what the hell? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, so the voting thing also is about them manipulating the vote. They've done it for years. They've done it as far back as you can go. And what happened was they got bold with it and they just started doing it in your face. And now looking back on it, I wonder if it was a ploy the whole time, if it was like a coup the whole time. It was just a coup. I don't know for sure, but everything that goes up always has to come down. Good always wins in the end. And that's where I stand on it because at the end of the day, whether elections get straightened out, they better hope that elections get straightened out. They better hope that justice starts happening, or it's going to be a 1776 at some point because people are just fed up. And there's so many people that left. I don't know that they necessarily left the Republican Party, but MAGA's dead because of this, because the things that were supposed to happen didn't happen. And whether it's the voting or holding people accountable for treason or whatever it is, whatever, you can name. I mean, we have a list of hundred things that right now that they've done that they need to be held accountable for, and they haven't been, and they're not going to be. And then so I was doing this research for California because I'm in California and I really love this state. It's gotten way out of control. It's way out of hand. We got the worst governor ever. We have homeless everywhere. Our gas today was went down 10 cents overnight, so it's 5.49 bargain. 5.49 is a bargain in California, and that's cheap compared to Los Angeles. I'm up north. I'm in Northern California. People down south are paying over $6 a gallon for gas. Diesel $7.58, $9. It's crazy in California. But now, if we can get some decent people in office that can turn this around, that'd be great because that's what we really need. We really need reform in California, and Reform California is seems like they're doing great work. We'll see what happens. I have a short clip from them talking about how California has been qualified to be on the ballot for 2026 November for voter ID. So at least qualify to get on the ballot, and that's a big one. Now, are they going to manipulate it? Probably. Are they going to do everything they possibly can, Republican and Democrat alike, to make sure that they're going to come up with this? Black people can't get ID, or it costs too much money, or you can't do that because it's unconstitutional to charge people for. You have to have. I've heard all these things. You have to have be able to have ID, but it costs so much to have ID that people can't afford to go get an ID. It's ridiculous. Like that's the first thing you do when you become age. 16 years old, 18 years old, is you go get a driver's license or an ID. If I mean, nowadays these kids don't want to drive. It's the weirdest thing. They're afraid of the behind the wheel. They'd rather you drive them around. I have a kid that's 17 that's getting his license right now, and the one before that, which was I guess it was 18 years ago. She's 34, and she didn't want to drive either. I had to make her go get a license and drive a car because she did not. She was afraid of it. And it's just crazy. I don't know what happened from my generation to now because it's completely different, way, way different. I'm after boomer. I'm not a boomer. Not a boomer. Anyway, let's listen to let's listen to Gavin Newsom first. Then we'll listen to what the Reform California has to say.
California Governor Gavin Newsom here to deliver my last State of the State address. I've skipped the last 4 of these speeches because, well, as you all know, California has been a complete shit show disaster. But since I am running for president, I desperately need the attention. I could tell you all the bad things. Like California has the highest cost of living of any state, and I've had the worst inflation rate of any governor since taking office. Or we have the worst schools, most homeless, worst roads, and worst job market with an unemployment rate 22% higher than national. But we shouldn't dwell on such trivial things. I want you to appreciate all the things I do well. I'm sick of hearing about fraud in Minnesota. If you thought the fraud there was bad, I have just one thing to say. Bitch, hold my beer. No one does fraud, and no one can waste money faster than me. California has the highest fraud rates in all forms of welfare. Somali daycare fraud is the little leagues, chump change. In California, I issued $30 billion in checks to fraudsters in our unemployment program, and some of them were to criminals who were serving time in prison. Speaking of prisons, I'm closing down prisons at a record rate, not because crime is going down, because I've granted early release to over 100,000 criminals since I took office. More than half of them have gone on to recommit crimes, likely more. But I've decided it's not a crime if you just decide to stop arresting and prosecuting criminals. My budget is a mess, but you got to give me credit for my creative math skills. I've cooked the books so the next governor ends up taking the hit, and that way I can still give illegal immigrants free taxpayer-funded health coverage and a cost of $13 billion a year. And if you want to dwell on any of the many, many problems in California, I have just one thing to say. Don't blame me. Blame Donald Trump, or blame climate change, or blame the Zodiac. But just don't blame me, because I don't do blame well. I managed to cheat on my wife with my best friend's fiance and did not take the blame. So if you think that I am going to take the blame for the dumpster fire our state has become under my watch, think again, you suckers. Not going to happen. Full stop. I would thank you for your time, but we both know it is you who should be thanking me.
Great news to report. Moments ago, we got the official notification from the California Secretary of State that the California Voter ID Initiative has officially qualified for a vote in the November 2026 elections. The California Voter ID Initiative is a bipartisan common sense reform to restore public trust and confidence in our elections. It is supported by a majority of Democrat voters and a supermajority of independent voters, in addition to Republicans. The politicians in California, they want you to think that this is a partisan initiative. It's not. It's just good government. It's simple. Make sure that we properly maintain our voter rolls, audit the voter rolls, and make sure the public knows that they're done correctly. Do citizenship verification, and then, of course, verify the identity of voters when they're casting their ballots, either in person or by mail. We've collected over 1.4 million signatures to put this on the ballot, and nearly half of those signatures came from Democrats and independents. It just shows you what a bipartisan, broad-based, common sense, good government initiative this is. California Voter ID is a simple concept. The California Voter ID Initiative requires 3 things. First, we would clean up our voter files so that only eligible people are on the roll to get ballots. We also require, under the California Voter ID Initiative, that election officials in every county do citizenship verification. And of course, it requires that voters present a simple government ID when voting in person or using the last 4 digits of a government document, any government document of their choosing, of their convenience, that they're comfortable with, when they're mailing in their mail-in ballot. Now, as we go to the November election, we certainly expect the politicians in California to play dirty tricks. And that's why it's important that we run an aggressive campaign to make sure we get the facts out about why California voter ID is common sense and bipartisan. And that's why we're urging people, join the campaign at voteridinitiative.com. That's the website. Go there, learn more, sign up. at voteridinitiative.com. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California, a California state legislator, and a co-author of the California Voter ID Initiative that is now officially qualified for the November 2026 ballot here in California.
Yeah, and if you're in California, by the way, and I know a lot of people in California would like to know this stuff. I'm going to give you the website. There is a California Election Guide California. It's Election Guide California.org. Go there. It gives you everything, every ballot, every measure. It breaks it down. It's not like when you get one of those in the mail and it's full of smoke and mirrors, because they tell you it's something else when you're voting. So a lot of people vote for something thinking that it's one thing when it's another. Always been that way. It should be reformed, but it's not. So these guys for Election Guide California, they have broken it down to where you can understand what each provision is, makes it easier to place your ballot. And that guy DeMaio, he's got a YouTube channel, and he breaks down every one of the provisions, whatever is on the ballot to vote for, and he breaks it down on what's good about it or what's bad about it or why not to vote for it. They do all that stuff. So if you're in California and you're sick of the vote, the way it goes, check out that website. Just check it out and see what you can do to help. Because if we all are mindful of what we're voting for down ballot, we might have a chance to clean up California. Because the truth is, they just put all this crap in there. It's just like the state or the government. They put all this pork on top of these bills and pass them, thinking that you're voting for this, but really you're voting for all this other crap. And they don't even tell you what it is, or they are, because the House and Senate do all this voting, all this bargaining, and sell their soul for each thing and all that stuff. It's crazy. I'm like firm on. I'm not voting for anybody that's not straight. America first. I don't give a shit what they say. I learned my lesson, and I learned it this time, because what I've seen is disgusting. So anyway, one more time, electionguidecalifornia.org or electioncal.org. It's the same. It's two different websites, but it goes to the same place. Thanks for listening to that. Now, while we're here, before we move on, if you haven't yet gone to the website, my website, it's on the screen, www.inspectorweb.com, and right in the very top of it, I have my sponsors. I have a couple different sponsors. I have Zeolite, Masterpiece, and that stuff is like, listen, the food that we eat, even when you're eating clean, you're eating garbage. The water, unless you're getting your stuff through a water filter that gets rid of all the chemicals in the water, even through a refrigerator, you're drinking water that's not clean. Now, this formula that they're selling for about $1 a day, it's around $1 a day, cleans out the fluorides and the metals and the plastics and all that stuff. It also helps, like if you was a victim of the jab, it helps you around that stuff too, getting rid of the microplastics or whatever it is that they were giving us. It really does help. So check it out. Go on the website. It's in the description or on my website. And the good thing about the website now is, because people were talking about when you click on the website, it takes you out, because you can watch the show on the website. If you click on the sponsor now, you can still watch the show and you can place a whole order and the show stays up there, and you just click out and you stay on the show. So you won't even lose any part of the show now, because we've got it set up to where it can do more than one thing at once. I mean, it doesn't knock you off the live stream or whatever. Okay. So we're doing our best to make it to where it's one, friendlier. So, you can do things on there. All the shows that we've done, I think it holds 20 of our shows at a time. It's all on there. And if you have, if I say, hey, go back and watch such and such show, you can go right to the website, go down, bam, and hit it, and it's live. So so you don't have to, go to Twitter or Rumble or one of the other and look for it, because all the stuff that I post, you can go right to the website. It only has the shows and the sponsors on there right now, and it has our store that's not active right now. It will be active after Monday. We're going to do some stuff, and we're going to do a drawing. Actually, we haven't figured out what the campaign's going to be yet, but we're going to give away some stuff. So look for that as well. That's inspectorweb.com. It's super simple. We want to make it easy. We used to have this long ass URL and all that stuff. Now we've made it super simple so people can get there, because we want you to participate with us, and we're going to start working on reports and different things like that in the future. So look for all that too. Just a little inside baseball, as you say. All right, let's get into this. What are we going to do? We're going to get into axes and clubs and knives being swung at the streets, and looting and robbing and raping and all that stuff in Spain, of all places. And by the way, when you think about this, when you think about what they're doing, the invasion of Spain from Morocco, when you think about that, does it remind you of anything? Because what it reminds me of is, it reminds me of 2021, when the borders were open and people were just coming through, and the border patrol was just standing there counting people or whatever they were doing, or whatever, loading them on vans and stuff. Well, the same type of thing is going on over there, but now these are Muslim radicals, okay? And so they're robbing and stealing and doing all that stuff that they do. There's been I'm not going to show it because of YouTube, but they're stabbing people with screwdrivers and knives and all. It's crazy. And it comes up so fast. And then through the internet, you find out that Israel is basically promoting it, or whatever they're doing. They're saying that they made threats that they were going to do it, and then they did it, and all this stuff. And it's a lot of different things going on. And there's all these arguments going on the internet about that's not real and all this stuff. But listen, 49,000 immigrants came across that border, swam across like I think they said it was 3 miles across the bay, the ocean, whatever it's called, to get into Morocco. Get into Spain from Morocco. They've invaded, and now they're taking over. So when I hear that, it reminds me of what they did here. And the only difference here compared to there is we all have firearms, and they don't have firearms there. They've taken all their firearms. They have no way of defending themselves. So there's a little different thing going on here, for sure. But again, like I said yesterday, we'll be talking about this, and we're going to give you the information as we get it. And there's a bunch of reports, and we're gonna hold off on that. I want to give it some time, because there's a lot of stuff going on with it, and I just want to make sure that what I'm reporting is true. So we'll show you a couple of videos though right now. Stand by.
Country, my continent, my civilization, my freedoms, my way of life, my safety, my ability to walk around the streets where I grew up freely. I know it's over. I know it's over because of what's going on and what's happening. And we're watching it in real time. And this is war, and this is being conducted by hostile states. And I cannot wrap my head around how we have a government, and frankly, successive governments, not just in the United Kingdom, but across the West, of the left wing particularly, who, for some reason that I just cannot fathom, at the very least, are turning a blind eye to this. At worst, they're actually complicit, where we need to declare a national emergency. We've learned that IRGC have shipped operatives in. We know this. The counter-terrorism czar, Robin Simcox, told the previous government, Rishi Sunak, that guess what? Guess what? Terrorists use illegal routes. Well, of course they blimmin' well do. Of course they do. I have it on good authority from people within the intelligence community that caches of weapons are dropped over the edge of those boats, and at night, they've got trackers on, at night with GPS, caches of weapons are being picked up in the channel and brought to shore. That's the way a lot of weapons got shipped into Gaza. I have it on great authority from people in the intelligence community that among the people who've broken into our country are 500 jihadist trainers. I have it on good authority from people in the intelligence community that we have so-called summer camps happening around the United Kingdom, where young Muslim men are being taught how to do parkour, you know, running in and out of buildings. They're being trained in paintballing, you know, firing guns, and trained in flying drones. I don't think that sounds like a summer camp. I think that sounds like a jihadist training camp. And guess who's been telling the UK this? American intelligence. And nothing's being done. We are living through in real time an Islamic invasion into this country. It's going to end with blood spilled in our streets. And I don't understand that the Prime Minister isn't talking. I don't know if has Kemi Badenoch said anything today? Has she piped up?
Yeah. And so, I mean, when you think about that, so they're running military operations with paintball so they could train these. Listen, we've talked about this. They bring them here. They put them in these colonies, in these areas. You know, they take over apartment buildings. They train them how to handle weapons and knives and all that stuff, and they get them ready for some sort of an invasion or some kind of military operation. That's what's going on. And they're doing it here, and they're doing it there, and they're doing it in the UK, and they're doing it in the, they're doing it everywhere right now. That's what they're doing. They're getting ready for a mass invasion of the world. And, if you want to talk about civil war, that's what that sounds like. So they're fighting back over there right now. We're going to get into that here in a minute, but let's listen to what Harrison Smith has to say about the revolution that's coming in Spain.
So the number of attempted major communist socialist revolutions is between 35 and 40. Succeeded in taking national power, 11 to 13. That's like a quarter of them. So 25% of the time that a communist revolution pops off, it works. Here's the important part. Defeated militarily, 20 to 25. Only 2 to 3 were ever ended by settlement or political compromise. Throughout history, the only thing that has successfully crushed communist revolutions is violent military intervention.
Yeah. And so what are we going to do about it? That's my question. My question is simple as that. What are the people going to do about this? Because it continues to happen. I'll show you what they're doing in Spain right now. The population hit the streets. Check this out.
Spain, and I watched the catastrophe that took place. Invasion of a country by hundreds of thousands of people, and that same thing's going to happen to us if the Republicans don't get elected, except worse, much bigger, much easier to get into, despite the fact that we have built thousands of miles of wall, which I said we were going to do, but we didn't have that, forget it. We have the safest border in the world. If we're not in office, our country will be invaded at levels that made Spain look small time. And when I watched it, I said, boy, I'm going to say it because I knew you were going to be at Camp David. And I said, that's going to be a talking point for the midterms. Because when you look at what happened to Spain, they don't know what to do. And it's happening again today. They're coming in by the tens of thousands. They're just invading the country. And what that is weak law, bad management, but very liberal law. They passed a couple of laws, and people read. You know, people are smart. They read from other countries, and they swam that 3-mile swim, or however they got in, but nobody's seen anything like it. That will look good compared to what's going to happen to the United States.
Yeah. And so they've invaded us already. So they're everywhere around here. There's, there's estimates of up to 100,000 or 100 million, 100 million illegals here right now. And, 50 million of them happened in the last few years. And there is talk about San Diego, California, that Chinese are coming across. We heard that from Michael Yon last week. There's things going on that they're saying that the border is closed, but yet there's people talking about how the border is still open in areas, and that is not good. So, there's a lot going on with that. So we'll just keep an eye on it. That's all we can do is keep an eye on it, and we hope that we hope that that stuff gets sorted out soon, because this is the thing. So this is what I see happening, and I should have mentioned this when we were talking about the elections. I don't see the Republicans keeping the House or the Senate, and so that's going to make Donald Trump a lame duck. And the only way he's going to be able to get anything done is by giving the Democrats everything that they want, which will be, pretty much what they're getting right now. But, and then what happens? Do we get a Democrat president in 28, or will that give us the opportunity to have another Republican, hopefully independent, somebody like a Thomas Massey or something, somebody that cares about the country will come in and do something. But this thing, so I see it now, and I didn't see it before, or maybe I was just too stupid to know the difference. But I believe that when Donald Trump got into office this time, they showed it to him. This is what's going to happen if you don't do what we say. I just believe it now. After all this, I just really believe that he's not in charge at all, not at all, because it's just the way I see it. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if a different president or a different body in the office of presidency is going to make a difference. I don't know. I don't see it, because they're all liars. They all cheat, lie, and steal. So anyway, we're going to put a pin in all that right now. Pray for Spain. Pray for the United States. I pray every night for discernment, and I pray for God to lead, guide, and direct me, and to show me what I can't see, and to help Donald Trump make better decisions. I guess Roger Stone came out today and said that he's no longer Alex Jones's friend, because he's completely sucked into the MAGA Trump fucking train for sure now. So whatever. I mean, whatever that is, I don't know. Whatever it is. I mean, I guess, they're 50-year friends. I guess if somebody's calling for 25th Amendment on them, I guess you kind of, I don't know. I guess you got to go with it. But I mean, you would think that you would tell somebody the truth, that what they're doing to the country isn't okay. And the thing about Roger Stone, I should have pulled a clip and I didn't. And maybe on Wednesday or Monday or whenever I guess Wednesday, I have a meeting on Monday. Wednesday when I come back, or maybe Tuesday, we'll see. Roger Stone has always been one of those people that's really connected to elections and stuff. And to think that he doesn't see what's going on with our country right now is kind of shocking, actually. So anyway, that we'll talk about that next week. I'm gonna let the dust settle first before I talk about it. Let's get into these flock cameras, because that is something that we probably need to be paying attention to, really, because it's more than just them taking pictures of your car, your license plate, and all that stuff. It's retina scans and all this other stuff. And we talked about it a lot last night, but we're going to get into it again right now. Let's do this John Brown report right now, and it's labeled Axon replaces Flock in a, what the hell? I can't see it now. My eyes are so bad. In a tyrannical shell game. Stand by.
Is Flock safety eavesdropping on private citizens? In this case, this Flock Raven is literally under the eave of a private residence. How close? I'm now touching the sill of this house, standing next to the Raven.
The community center said, okay, well, we're a little worried that there might be some sort of anti-Semitic attack, so we want to share our footage with police in case they need it, in case there's a shooting or something terrible happens. And by doing that, they shared it with Flock. All Flock employees, over 1,000 times, and they were all grown men. And they were looking at these cameras of the daycare center, the children's gymnastics room, and their defense to this was that it was a product demo for another client. And I'm thinking to myself, if I had a business and I wanted a Flock camera, right, a police department, and somebody pulled up a laptop and said, look how good this works, and then it was a children's gymnastics room, I would call the police, or hit them. I'm not sure what I would do, but that's an outrageous explanation. That's just delusional.
How many Flock employees were fired after that?
None, not one.
If they're going to track us, that's against our constitutional rights. You know, I have the right to move about this country free without somebody looking over my shoulder constantly.
Flock Safety's solar-powered license plate readers have blanketed America like a digital dragnet, scanning tens of billions of plates a month, feeding hot lists to cops and private HOAs, and turning every street corner into a permanent checkpoint. The backlash is real. Dozens of cities have ditched the contracts after privacy scandals.
For many, Flock cameras are supposed to make communities safer. But after 3 officers allegedly abused the system for personal reasons, some residents are questioning whether the technology has enough safeguards.
If they're able to use it for all these other reasons like tracking people, either they need a new company that has protections on the gear to where you can't do all that stuff, or there needs to be some checks and balances on it.
False alerts that put innocent drivers at gunpoint.
Get on the ground, do now. You're gonna get bit. Fuck. Man, for real? That's what you're doing. Man, your back. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's already asking for medical like a little petulant child. So it's not the plate. So it's not the stolen plate. No. Did it just miss-hit? I think it miss-hit. Why you make that noise? We'll talk later.
Hey, fight away from me now! Right now, man, we got a hit on a car and a stolen vehicle. So you about to cooperate with us?
I'll cooperate, but I trust you. It's not so. You have any weapons on you?
No.
Turn around. I gotta put you in these for right now, okay?
I've got a baby in the car. So we have a Flock camera system that's around East Tennessee. We got a hit from that Flock camera.
Yeah.
Okay. And
look for L0 DUI, not LO DUI.
Unauthorized federal data grabs, and that creeping sense that your every commute is being logged for the permanent record.
Well, guys, Flock just got wings, those street side cameras that are already all across America. What if I told you they're not stopping there? The same company behind the cameras are now putting autonomous surveillance drones in the sky. And depending on who you ask, it's either the future of public safety or the more likely option, the biggest expansion of government surveillance we've seen yet. Now the company's automated license plate readers have spread across the country, creating one of the nation's largest interconnected video surveillance networks. After partnering with aviation software company Aerodome, Flock launched Flock Alpha, an autonomous police drone built to respond to emergencies before officers even arrive. The drone sits inside a waterproof docking station waiting for a call, and when a 911 report comes in, the drone can launch automatically and fly up to 60 miles per hour. Officers don't even have to be standing nearby. They can deploy it directly from one of these little things, a smartphone. And this thing isn't just flying overhead. It's got thermal imaging, high-definition cameras, and powerful optical zoom. And well, according to Flock, it can even read a vehicle's license plate from 2,000 feet away. That's not terrifying at all.
But instead of the surveillance layer being torn down, it's being rebranded. Axon, the taser and body cam giant, has stormed into the gap with its own pole-mounted and streetlight retrofit ALPR systems, the same hardware partners Flock used.
Guess who else owns Axon? That's right. According to financial disclosures, the president purchased between $1 and $5 million of Axon stock. Guess when? February of 2026, right? Because Trump's making money off of them. The president and BlackRock and Vanguard. What the hell with our Fourth Amendment?
Genetech, AutoView, and the rest of the pack are swooping in for the municipal contracts, often with the same core mission: photograph every vehicle, store the movement data, and hand it over when the system decides that you're interesting.
I want to be clear what these cameras actually are, and I say that with somebody with 20 years of experience in IT. I've served as the chief network architect for Fortune 500 companies. I've designed data centers, and today I work on cloud infrastructure for one of the largest loan origination companies in the country. I'm not speculating on how this technology works. I've read their patents, and I know how it works. Flock advertises these cameras as simple license plate readers. Their own patents tell a different story. They're AI-powered surveillance machines that capture every passing vehicle and person and transmit that data to a private corporate cloud, making it queryable by a multitude of state and federal agencies. Now consider who's behind the company and where your data flows. Flock integrates directly with Palantir, a data fusion platform with a $30 million contract with ICE. Peter Thiel, the founder of Palantir, is also one of Flock's primary investors. These are not separate companies with separate agendas. They are connected actors that are building a connected infrastructure. Palantir's own CEO stated publicly just this month that his technology is being used as a political instrument designed to reduce the political power of certain voters. And that's the ecosystem that our cameras are feeding into.
Palantir is here to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them.
Look, we built PG, which single-handedly stopped the rise of the far right in Europe. We built Foundry, which was used to distribute the COVID vaccine and saved millions of lives globally. We built what we call multi-constellation, and what's often called the digital kill chain.
Nova is an accessory that goes onto the Flock cameras, but it tracks you as a person. It turns your license plate into everything about you. So you're driving along and the Flock camera that has this Nova apparatus on it, well, all of a sudden, it's like not only does this car and this license plate belong to this person, but this person is married to this person and has these kids and lives in this place, and here's their phone number. Everything about you, your pattern of life, everything. An investigation just like a year or two ago found that Nova didn't just pull from open source or legal data sets. It pulled from the dark web as well, which includes your social security number, your bank information, your email that was leaked, your password that was leaked. So now they have all of that and can do whatever they want, technically.
This isn't competition that liberates you. It's a shell game where the players swap logos while the cameras keep rolling, the national databases keep growing, and ordinary Americans keep getting treated like suspects in a never-ending Fourth Amendment violation. John Bound reporting for the Alex Jones Network at alexjoneslive.com.
Yeah, so I heard some stuff in that report that's very interesting. Palantir, right? Sucking up all your information. Peter Thiel, all these people that are supposed to be, they've changed their tune. Now they've realized that, because you hear the stories about how Peter Thiel's came to the right side of the, he's doing good things now, all this stuff. But the truth is they're all in this game together to get all the data, to control you, and from what I can tell, it's all about central bank digital currency. And then they have the data, and they have all the information. They know everything you say, you do, where you live, where you work, who your kids are, all your information, everything. That you don't have to input anything into some system for them to have your banking information. They already have it because they got it off the black web, and they push a button when you say the wrong thing, and then you can't use your bank card. And then, the whole thing. It's just, that's what this all is about. It's about complete surveillance takeover to completely shut you out, period. Strangle you. That's what it is. It's a digital prison. It's what it is. There's no way around it. That's exactly what it is. And Leah breaks it down a little bit. She was just on that clip. She was covering it. That was a couple months ago when she was covering that part of it. But let's listen to what she has to say about flock cameras now before we close out this segment here. Hold on just a second. Stand by.
Let's talk about the taser company that bought a police state and how I think it's worse than Flock and somehow flying under our radar. If you haven't seen my video on Flock, go check it out. It's in my pinned videos because we still have an issue with Flock. So we're not giving up on that one. But today we need to talk about Axon. Axon actually started in 1993 as Taser, the literal tasers that we all know. Their friends were in a road rage incident and they wanted something that wasn't a gun to fight back. That's how Taser came about. And they sold just tasers until 2017. So what, 24 years? Then in 2017, they changed their name to Axon and they started buying a bunch of stuff, including body cameras, including the cloud that stored everything for police, like evidence.com. And that's when a weapons company turned into a software company that lives now within police departments. So what is it now? I've done deep dives on Flock and I've talked about Axon, but they're in 18,000 police departments and they have roughly 85% of the body cam market. And in the last 3 years, which is a little alarming, they went on a shopping spree. And not to Hermes, guys. They bought the real-time crime centers that watch every camera in the city. They bought a drone company. They bought 2 911 companies, including Carbine. Carbine was founded by Ehud Barak, who was the former PM of White Country, E's best friend. I've done a whole thing. The other founder of Toka, they bought that for $625 million. It also has the AI that writes police reports. And what it does is wipe what was written by AI versus what was written by the police officer after. So you don't know which is which. And now they have their sights on cameras. So one company now owns the chain from the time you dial 911 to the evidence that is given in court for the criminal. So let's talk about how it's different than Flock and why I think it's scarier. Flock is an add-on. The police departments buy it, put it on light poles, and it tracks your license plate. And actually, Axon was one of the first investors in Flock, and it just separated from them to do their own thing. But here's the difference. If you don't like Flock, you cut the contract, the cameras come down, the bolts on the cameras come off, it's done. A lot of cities are doing it right now because we are successful in our get rid of Flock. In fact, 80 plus towns have already done this. But Axon, that's not an add-on. Axon is already its own system in police departments. These crime centers don't just use Axon cameras. They vacuum up every feed from every camera in the city. Public, private, your Ring cameras. The same Ring cameras who said they weren't going to work with Flock because it's an invasion of privacy. Axon does. Axon even uses Flock cameras. They're allowed to do that. All in one computer screen. So you can't just vote this out. It's not just voting Axon out. It's ingrained in these police departments. That was my first red flag. Axon also has cameras that are being integrated now into streetlights that cannot be taken down. Their new cameras called light posts get built directly into the streetlights and they can be installed in under an hour. No permit fight, nothing sticking up for the citizens that don't want it. And they did it under our noses. But it gets worse because the company has a record. Reuters came out and said that it has been determined that over 1,000 deaths have been caused by tasers. And Axon has a history of suing medical examiners for saying the cause of death was a taser. They even built their own AI ethics board and then got rid of it after they tried to capitalize off of Uvalde using drones to protect schools. And the AI board was like, no, don't do that. They did it anyway and then got rid of the AI board. And I told you about the AI that writes these police reports. So you don't know if what the policeman said or saw versus what the AI claims that it saw. But some prosecutors are already refusing to accept that, thank God. But here's the big one. In 2019, Axon promised that it would not push facial recognition onto body cameras. But in December of 2025, that was out the door and they started testing it. So what they can do is on these body cameras and other cameras, use facial recognition and put you against a watch list. Not a big deal if you're not on a watch list, right? Except who knows why you would be on a watch list one day. It could be for nothing. It could be for speaking out against something, like Axon. So here's where it's going, in my opinion. It reads your car. It puts up cameras that you can't take down. It's merging its feed into every screen in police departments. 250 plus cities already. It's got AI writing the official story of what happened, and we know how reliable AI is. It currently has the capability, and it's expanding it, to fly drones to a 911 call. So they have a drone capability, they have facial recognition capability, they're in every police department to see all the cameras around. Oh, and this company started as a taser, which is a weapon. Nothing to see here, right? So put that together and you get a real-time AI run facial recognition drone patrolled surveillance grid owned by one private company sitting inside 18,000 police departments already. All those towns that we're kicking Flock out of, they're turning around and buying Axon. Denver already did it. Douglas County, Colorado already did it. $22 million is what Douglas County, Colorado spent, and they flew in a drone fleet too. Y'all are screwed. Trump invested in it right before it won a $220 million contract. Its original investors were not the Peter Thiel Founders Fund or the Horowitz AZ16. It was funded by friends and family, and then they went public. And now everyone owns a piece of them. BlackRock, you, me, and our 401k, everyone. So what do? Well, same as before, except we need to aim higher. At the city council meetings that I am telling people to go show up to, we can't just mention Flock. We have to mention Axon as well. They have to know that we know about this capability. You can go to EFF Atlas of Surveillance and you can see where these cameras are at. This is only going to work if we stop paying attention and fighting it. So we need to be loud. This deep dive is on my Substack, so you can go read all about it with graphics and everything if that's how you digest information better. Stay tuned.
Yep. And she does really good reports. If you don't know about the Leah Files on X, and also she's also on Substack at the Leah Files, and she does great work. Check her out. She's ex-CIA analyst. Check her out for sure. We're going to get into some Charlie Kirk stuff though, but before we do, let's realize what we're up against here. All the big top. First of all, hold on. It just came to me. So we've heard about this insider trading stuff that's going on in the White House for the last 6 months. We've heard about it. The Trump boys, the Letnick boys, they're all doing this, before it goes out, before they go live with something, they buy a bunch of stock goes up, they make billions of dollars. It's just how they're doing it. It's insider trading, really. And so it sounds like they did the same with Exxon, Taser, and all these different companies. It sounds like that's what the Trump administration, or at least the Trump's kids or whoever, it's got Trump's name on it, has bought into all this through stocks, right? That's their big thing. Because you remember he's always saying what's it called? The Dow's over 50,000, all that shit. So anyway, let's get into this. So we're going to talk about a few things tonight, a couple different angles, okay? Couple different angles. We're going to start with, we're going to set this up for you. Just the weird anomalies that are going on with Charlie Kirk's investigation. There's a bunch of them, a bunch of different ones. And I like to bring it and put it together with you. I know what I believe, but you might believe something else, and I want you to have your own belief system. And whatever you come out with at the other end of it, great. If you think I'm a conspiracy nut job and I need to wear a tinfoil hat, great. Awesome. But I'm just giving you the information that I get so you can make a informed decision on who you believe and what you understand. So Annika, I can't never say her name. Escarva, Escarver. She was on with Stu Peters a couple times, and they're tracking these planes. And remember, I said a while back that I believe that Charlie Kirk was killed from the behind the head. I'll show you the video here in a few minutes. He was hit from a drone in the back of the head, right here behind the ear, and came out the left side of his neck. It's an exit wound. And then he was shot in the chest. I believe that. Okay. I'll show you the video later. I also believe that those drones were released from that plane. That drone was released from the plane 2 hours before Charlie Kirk's event started. And it was in the area. And then 20 minutes after, the plane came back through and swooped up the drone, and gone it was. Because if you remember, during the timeline that was being put out by Candace, they talked about the drone and others. Barron, a bunch of people did it. The drone came in under 200 feet, which is really low, without landing, and then went back up. Didn't land, just went down low in Provo. Released the drone. Left, came back a couple hours later, and 2.5 hours later or whatever. They have the timestamps for the planes, all the tracking on the planes. I mean, it's public information. All the tail numbers, all that stuff. It's all public information. And then 20 minutes after the shooting, came back, did the same thing, dropped down low, did a circle around, dropped down low, and then went back up to traveling altitude. So now they're talking about what is going on with these planes associated or besides that with TPUSA. And this is all speculation. I don't have any proof. Say that up front. But they're saying that what's happening with these they're on the tarmac for an hour or two, and then one plane with what is her name? Barack? No. What the hell is her name? Hold on a second. The Israel chick, that one. I can't think of her name right now. My brain don't work like that. Now I have to look it up. I just can't. Adelson. Marion Adelson. That's what I was saying about. Let me go back. God, that's a lot of videos. Yeah. Barack. Is it? No, that's not right. That is not right either. It's one second. I just played a bunch of her stuff last night, so I have it right here. Hold on a second. I want to get it right. Marion Adelson. Marion Adelson. That one. Yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, let me get back to this. They're saying that there's a potential that they're doing some kind of arms dealing or something like that. And I don't know. I don't have no proof for it, but I'm just going to play the clip. Stand by.
And the more that we learn, the more confirmation that we get that this was a high-level military operation that involved the betrayal of Charlie Kirk by the people who were closest to him. What you found were that planes, in short, belonging to Turning Point USA are in the same places at the same times as aircraft owned and operated by Miriam Adelson. The first screenshot that I have here is tail number Alpha Alpha Foxtrot 1 Delta Delta. Take us through this aircraft and what this screenshot represents.
Sure, yeah. So this is an image of an aircraft that's owned by Miriam Adelson. That's, I call it 804. That is one of her large BBJ aircraft that, the family uses. It's not usually the one that we see her specifically flying around on, but family, VIPs, immediate associates, that's a friends and family aircraft. And as you can see, it right there is on the runway along with another smaller plane that's 582 and that aircraft belongs to Turning Point USA. That particular date, that is August 14th of last year, and that's just one of, I think, of about 24 or 25 occasions where they met up on a runway and hung out for an hour or two, and then the Adelsons flew on to Israel. And
Just to
so
be
back-
clear, that is a jet that is owned by Turning Point USA or used by Turning Point USA.
That's right.
And on how many occasions are they on the tarmac with Miriam Adelson's aircraft?
Around 24, 25 occasions. And although, that's an interesting data point, it's really what they're doing beforehand and after that seems to be a little bit more of a concern.
Turning Point USA aircraft meet up with Miriam Adelson's aircraft for roughly an hour of overlap. And Miriam Adelson's aircraft then immediately leave and go directly to Israel.
That's right.
And then they come back the following day from Israel.
That's right. It definitely follows the same kind of pattern that you would expect to see if someone was delivering cargo of some kind.
Yeah, so you can let that sink in for a minute. I don't know what the connection is to that, except for that it's delivering cargo or something, or they're making whatever it is. I don't know. What I do know is when you pull the layers back and you start talking about different people, like God, man, I should write shit down. The guy that's running for governor over there, and how he is an arms dealer, or he's has this arms dealer thing going on, and all that stuff. It all kind of goes together when you think about it. So anyway, stand by. Stand by for just a second.
Check, mic check. He said no war, now read the rest. Before the bombs, before the flex. Who needed Charlie off the set? Mic check, hot mic, black stars, white text. Rifle story, bullet test. Too many questions left unchecked. He told her right, don't take that ride. I ran it out right, don't sell that lie. Regime change turns fire to flood. 90 million lives, mountains of blood. MAGA heard them numbers don't lie. Almost 90 said no when the poll went high. No war when I ran that message spread. Then the war drums came when the voice went dead. SUV floor, pieces on black. Roll white marks, now run that back. They said one shot, one rooftop frame, but the mic got louder than the official claim. Mic check. He said no war, now read the rest. Before the bombs, before the flex. Who needed Charlie off the set? Mic check. Hot mic, black shards, white text. Rifle story, bullet test. Too many questions left unchecked. Candace pulled threads, they called it noise, but questions don't die when they fear that voice. Who clipped the mic? Who cleaned the scene? Who moved too fast behind the screen? Bullet fragment came back then, not cleared, not closed. Still questions within. Prosecutor talk, judge struck back. Now the courtroom pressure got cracks in the track. DB wanted fire. Charlie said, wait, don't hand America another war state. He wasn't Iran, he wasn't outside. But truth is truth when the war machine lies. He saw the trap before the blast. Said that road turns nations to ash. Then headlines spun and the war got sold. Now the mic check echoes through the code. Hot mic glow, black shard shine. War drums roll, right on time. Mic check. He said no war, now read the rest. Before the bombs, before the flex. Who needed Charlie off the set? Mic check. Hot mic, black shards, white text. Rifle story, bullet test. Too many questions left unchecked. Sacred defense. He said no war. Iran remembers. Questions remain. Mic check. Sacred defense.
We brought Mikey in, and he was so young as a Charlie's assistant and handler, and has been around, like, again, one-on-one with Charlie.
We have two
Most
more
of the
clips.
videos you see of Charlie, Mikey is taken
Just
over
taking
the last
it
5
or
years.
next to it, or we have 2 more clips. They're short. I say just play them both, 87, 88. Just play them back to back, guys.
Yeah, handler. Mikey's handler. Did you catch that? I was looking for this dude's name. I don't know why I do this. What the hell is his name? It'll come to me, I'm sure. Victor Marks. That guy. He's the arms dealer. Remember, Candace was talking about had him on the show, and then he was on. He did this this panel with these other 2 senators that are, or not senators, potential governors, and they're having they're talking and they're saying that he's a liar and all this. They're both of them saying the same thing about him, and that he's an arms dealer and all, just all this stuff, right? And for Israel, right? And so that would make a connection, far-fetched, or allegedly, but yeah, there's definitely that thing going on, right? And so Tyler Boyer talking about Mikey was Charlie's handler. Last time I checked, a handler is not someone that makes sure that you have your cell phone plugged in at night. A handler is somebody that handles you for a mafia or an organization, or the mob or something, or CIA or something like that. That's what a handler is. Now that caught my ear, and interesting, very, very interesting stuff. That's very interesting. And so all this stuff doesn't, when you take it and put it all together, a lot of it doesn't make sense. It's hard to, it's hard for me to get my head wrapped around all these different things. So we'll just keep going though, because I have some more. So Candace on Thursday released a video, of the shooter on the roof. And what happened was, from my understanding, is there was a person in the courthouse that must have heard what was going on with all the influencers saying that it was 4K, the video was 4K, and you could see the whites of his eyes, you see him take the shot and all this stuff. And so they put out anonymously sent the video to Candace, or at least it's anonymous for us because she's not giving up her source, to combat the fact that the shot was clear and you could tell that it was Tyler Robinson, all that stuff, because it's very clear that you can't see that. It's not, you can't see who it is. It looks, you can't even tell exactly what kind of clothes they have on, or if they have a weapon at all. But let's play this, and then I have one without sound afterwards. But let's run through this clip where Candace breaks it down. Stand by.
This limp that he has in the footage is completely removed. So let's watch that. Okay. Now what happens next is exactly as my source stipulated. Our rooftop guy begins a tactical crawl. It's actually known in the military as a lateral crawl. Let's watch that. There he goes. And I actually do want to show you side by side so you can actually see a real military man do that alongside this person on the rooftop. Let's bring in that side by side clip. Here we go. That general action right there is known as a lateral crawl. Now, you may have noted, if you're just looking at your eyes, some sort of a flash that just took place, right? We're going to show you that slowed down and just kind of discuss this. We've gone back and forth here. What is that? Is he pulling something out? Is it like a signal mirror? Is it a flag? Was it already on Losey Center? Is it actually something that's in the background that's just catching weird? Is it a car? And we're just thinking that we see this flash, but we're just going to show you that so that it's clear. Back and forth flash there while he's military crawling. Here we go. There, and we're running that back and forth there. Okay, so you now have that. Next up, what you are going to see is that it's going to look as though as he gets into position and completes this lateral crawl, that he thrusts something forward in a way that my brain told me it looked like he was unfolding a gun. Truly, that's what my brain told me. Maybe it's because I had this guy and told me about a fold AR. I don't know, but it's not definitive. That's me narrating. I'm happy for people to disagree and debate what is seen. But let's just watch that portion here. There we go. Something forward. And we can watch that again. Something forward. Again. But more importantly than what we see here is what we're not going to see here. So remember, this is supposed to be a German 98 Mauser family heirloom gun used during World War I and World War II. That'll effectively take your shoulder out when it's fired. Even the newer models, if you go watch people shooting, they're like, oh, my shoulder. And if you're looking through a scope, as he allegedly was, you might even expect a black eye. You will recall that the guy who recorded the footage specifically told us that he saw no recoil. That's pretty crucial. He just saw the guy get up and run. And that would be, I would argue, or a lawyer in court, that would be impossible for this specific make and model of gun. So let's watch and see if we, with our eyes, can observe some sort of a kickback. And again, I have to apologize. This is not like Benny Johnson 4K footage, but it's at least clear enough here on your screen that you would be able to discern a strong kickback on a gun from somebody who's just laying down, taking a shot. So I'm going to let this run. It's about 50 seconds. And you just let me know if at any point you see that before he gets up and breaks into a sprint. Take a look. There you go. That's that unfolding again. And by the way, if you are listening to this in audio, this is one of these episodes that you actually do have to go watch. So you will have to pivot over to YouTube, to Spotify, somewhere that provides the video, because this is not something that we could just produce on an audio podcast here, unfortunately. But this is going to run. We did have to obviously zoom in and push out those fed timestamps, but see here, I have 10 more seconds here. Okay, he is up. Anybody? Anybody see a recoil? I didn't see one, but let's actually put that footage all together uninterrupted. Here we go for you guys to watch. He comes running on to the rooftop. What we know definitively is he gets down into what is known as a lateral military crawl. He begins that crawl over to the right first, and then to the left, we see a quick flash. We are not sure what that flash is. Actually, looks like, I'm not going to read into it. There's that throw forward. I say fold forward. You can say throw forward, but that's definitely something being flung forward, getting into position. And here we wait for what we expect to be some sort of a kickback. Must have been when our source began recording from the side of a Pelosi building and said, oh, I just saw someone get up there. Got a gun. and he's up and he's gone. What do you guys think?
Yeah, and so what do you think? I mean, I have this video right here. This has no sound, so you can see what's going on here. And looks like they're in a big jacket, all black. I don't see no maroon. I don't see t-shirt, or I don't see tennis shoes. I don't see any of the characteristics of what Tyler Robinson was supposedly dressed in at all. He's very far away from the edge of the building, as far as I can tell. I don't see how you could see into the courtyard from that location, but maybe it's an optical illusion from the positioning of the camera. And then what else do we see? I don't see any kick. I don't see any dust come up from, and it's hard to see because of the, the camera quality. This 4K, see the whites of his eyes. Definitely not that. It's so blurry, you can't tell who it is or anything. But you would think that there would be some dust up. You'd think that there would be some kind of a kick if it's a rifle of anything, unless it's a 22, right? You would think that there'd be a kick on it. I guess if it has suppressor, it would take away some of the kick. But I'm just saying, you'd be your own judge of that. Now we're gonna smash the propaganda around this clip right now with this next video that we have, because they're saying that it's 4K quality and all that stuff. And we're going to show you all the MAGA, influencers coming out and talking shit about how it was this super high quality 4K definition, and all that stuff, and how they pumped up the media with these claims that yet to this day, I haven't seen anything that proves that that there was a shot taken from the roof. I haven't, unless it was from the roof behind, but I'm pretty clear that it was a drone shot from behind, from this right hand side between the buildings, and I'll show you that here shortly. But we're gonna play the cameraman first. Jesse on Fire has something to say about the cameraman's reaction and all that stuff, and then I'm going to show you the propaganda footage before we get into the actual day of the shot, where we see the drone leaving and drones in the air and all that stuff, and the whole thing, and the infrared, or all of it. We're going to show you all of it here shortly. But let's listen to Jesse on Fire, and then we'll be right back.
Farnsworth, from standing on the wall, had captured an absolutely flawless cell phone video of security carrying Charlie to the SUV. I was like, wait, and then from there he walked over and then took the SD card out of his own camera. Those are his actions immediately following this. Charlie gets shot right in front of him. He's literally directly to the right of where Charlie is, and he calmly gets into a perfect position to capture a shot. He's the AV guy, captures it, and then turns the camera on himself and goes, let me do this perfectly, because he was wearing sunglasses. He's all, they shot Charlie. They shot Charlie. God help him. He's dead.
Yeah. Remember that? Remember that whole thing that went down? Who would do that? Weird. That's just weird. That's just weird. I just want to throw that in there. I just got that sent to me right now while we were online and on the stream, and I wanted to play that. I wanted to see it myself. So stand by.
Bet you didn't see this. This is the smoking gun. This is the smoking gun that reveals the lies and the propaganda and the manipulation and everything that they are trying to do with this case. Watch.
That last video that they showed that was zoomed in, you could see it as clear as the noonday sun that he came into the facility. He climbed onto the roof. He was in a prone position. He took a shot, ran and jumped off the roof, just like the testimony showed. It was emotional to see Erica have to watch that.
I know that you guys watching on live stream couldn't see the last video that was shown. Well, it wasn't edited. It was zoomed in.
Yeah.
It was zoomed in from the surveillance video off campus, and specifically the part of the Losi Center, the roof, and you see everything. You see everything. He climbs over, he assembles the gun, he runs over to the edge, gets down in a prone position, and you see the time, and we all know what time, and it was like so slow, just watching those seconds click, 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 and then you see him take the shot, and he takes the shot, and then immediately runs. And we've seen that video already, but
there's a reason today we got to view the up-close footage of the UVU surveillance, and there's a reason that the defense did not want that seen by the public. After everything this entire week, to me, it is overwhelming evidence against Tyler Robinson, astronomical evidence against Tyler Robinson.
You have to hear this because it was devastating what we watched, and the judge ruled that you can't see the high definition quality video 4K of Tyler Robinson committing the murder of Charlie Kirk. But we saw it, and they played it on giant screens inside of the courthouse. You can see clearly Tyler Robinson's face. You can see crystal clear. Emotional day. The judge played all 20 minutes of the high definition security footage, and the whole courthouse gasped when it was over.
The most damning evidence against Tyler Robinson was just shown in court. Only the court saw it. But it was high quality surveillance video footage of Tyler Robinson taking the shot that took my friend's life. We all want justice. So hopefully this latest revelation that was revealed in court, that was shown in court today, high quality surveillance video of Tyler Robinson taking the shot that took Charlie's life. Hopefully that'll shut a lot of people up, at least make you pause.
And there's more. There were more people. There were the Eric Doherty, or however you say his name. There was Nick Sorter. There was Liz Wheeler. There was Andrew Colvett and all the TPUSA guys. You got to wonder why they're lying about it completely, including Erica, by the way. There was a lot more people, but to keep this video short, we'll just post those ones because those were the big ones. Those were the ones that made multiple videos and swore up and down, as you saw, quality, high quality HD 4K footage. Some of them even had the gall to say that you could see his face. And you got homeboy Talmud Tatum saying that as clear as the noonday sun. All of these people are being exposed and are going to continue to be exposed for the liars and the manipulators and the absolute shill propagandists that they are. These people are the enemy. They are lying to you. If you continue to believe them, you have no excuse and you deserve everything you have coming to you. And you know what? I'm not going to end this video by saying I'm a conspiracy theorist. Instead, I'm going to say, told you so.
Yeah. So check out Wentz's videos too. Ian Wentz, Winster. So I'm going to show you this video. It's less than 5 minutes. It breaks down the shot from behind, the shot in the chest, the reaction of the people that are closest to the people that the guy that took the shot in front of him, and all that. Right now, I'm going to show it. I've shown it before, but I think it's pertinent for what we're doing right now, so people can see what's going on. Stand by.
Charlie Kirk assassination in 5 minutes or less. I want you to see the 3 points of contact from this high-speed laser that they use, this infrared beam, and show you how it hit basically the back of Charlie Kirk's head and took him up out of here. Look at, we'll see a little bit lighter on this one. Boom, that's exactly where it hit. Back right there, so it lets you know that there's some activity that's happening to the body. And this is downward neck cavitation. So the round came down like that and came out the front part of his neck. And his shirt popped back right here. So when you see everybody showing that graphic of his shirt pop back, absolutely, because it's the downward neck cavitation from the pressurization to the body. It's that simple to understand. You can even kind of see it a little bit right there. See that right there? That's the shot actually entering, or where the shot actually entered into Charlie, right there, causing this effect to the shirt. It's a poofing up at the shirt, poofing up of the shirt at the top. So here I put them kind of side by side so you can see it a little bit better. The 3 points of contact, once it actually, this infrared beam was going by, this is high speed technology that we're looking at, okay? This is very, very high speed technology and very high tech technology. So it's the cream of the crop, as they would say. And that's exactly how Charlie Kirk was taken out of here. If there was no infrared technology that was used to kill Charlie Kirk, then this wouldn't be on the back of Charlie Kirk's head. By the time that this beam hit the back of his head, this shirt popped out right here. Charlie Kirk was technically already dead. A lot of people didn't know that. Like this was an instant death kind of thing. This is the angle that they hit him from right here. The tent was raised that day. Charlie set up on a platform so that the shot could be actually possible because he was on the platform, and the tent was raised around him so that there would be enough clearing for the head and neck space to be seen. And here goes another video, just real quick, showing you what it looks like when a palm pistol is fired. Look at that right between his fingers. Do it again just to show you. Look at this. Boom. Very subtle. Quick frame. See that? Just a little frame. But this is what you expect to see when a small pinfire pistol is being fired, okay? And this is the reaction of the girl that was standing right next to him. Boom. She's looking down at her phone. She doesn't know anything about anything. She looks right up at Rick Cutler. She looks in the sky, okay? And then she looks at Charlie Kirk. So this is very, very telling. And this is the damage that was actually done afterwards, is the pinfire palm pistol hit Charlie while his shirt was poofed up from the first shot, and it exited out of his back. You can see the pressurization of the hole, and it went right through Charlie. About a 2 millimeter sized round, basically a BB with gunpowder attached to it. Pinfire palm pistol, very, very, very small weapon, a very small weapon. So I cover a lot of this stuff on Charlie Kirk Operation 322 in my investigation. I'm doing a part 6 right now. So it's a 5-part series. It's 8 hours long. I would just, advise for you to at least watch parts 4 and 5. But you're going to find out a lot of information about the esoteric connections around Charlie Kirk and what he was involved in, the fact that he was a government employee, his contract with TikTok and Chinese, and it's his security clearance. And there's so much that people don't talk about, and I actually do talk about in my series, and I show you Israel's bird of prey drone. It can even be seen leaving the site after the shot. So go watch my information and you can see all of this. This is information they don't want to tell you about. I'm the scariest guy out there when it comes to this stuff because nobody wants to deal with it because it's truth, right? This is stuff that is really hard to swallow because it means everything that they told you is a lie. And it is. Every single thing that they told you is a lie. This is reality right here, what you see happening in front of you right now. Look at that. That shirt moves right there, and you can see that indentation right there, the initial indentation in the head. It's right here. It's literally right here. You don't have to look far for it. Shirt moves. There's the infrared beam on the back of the head. Okay? And then there you go. High-tech infrared beam there. But when you really want the answer, she tells you everything you need to know. When she looked up from that cell phone and looked at Rick Cutler and then looked up in the sky and then looked at Charlie Kirk, that's everything that you needed to know. That is everything that you needed to know. All right. So with that being said, until the next time, guys, stay alert, stay alive. Here's the truth.
Yeah, and so that's Ty Norman, and he has his channel is We're Not Going to Mars, and he's on YouTube. He has a full series on this, and it's the one thing that has the least amount of discrepancies in the way that Charlie was killed, assassinated. And it makes sense to me because the reason why it makes sense to me is because we seen the drones. They made this big old thing about they couldn't have drones, but there was at least 3 or 4 drones in the air at the time that Charlie Kirk was on stage. And they talked about it and they showed it. And it was like, and then there was a bunch of people talking about the drones, and they were saying there was no drones, there was no drones. And they were trying to hide the fact that there were drones early on. And then this guy started doing his series, and at first he got it wrong, like we did. We all had it wrong. And then as he kept doing the investigation, more and more came clear to him. And then he started seeing what happened because he thought somebody was on that roof and took the shot, but it wasn't. It was a drone. So, and whether or not we ever find out how Charlie was killed or not, it's pretty clear that that is something that a military operation would do. That was a very organized. I mean, there was people all over the place with maroon shirts that looked just like Tyler Robinson. I mean, the whole thing was an operation. There was 12 cell phones from Israel. I mean, just the whole thing. I mean, there was just a lot of different anomalies, as they call it, in this whole thing that happened with Charlie Kirk and this whole thing. So anyway, so let's put a pin in that for tonight. And if you have any, let's see here. If you have any information for me, send it to this email or send it to my Twitter. You can send it. The easiest way to send videos is to Twitter, but you can send it if it's already in what is it called? It's already in an MP4. You could send it to me through email, no problem. But if it's on Rumble or something like that, you can send it to me through email. Somebody said they had a video they wanted me to see. I tried to open it on my phone. I couldn't get it to open. So that's my email, or you can go to Twitter or X, or I guess you could probably send it to me on Rumble or any of those other platforms as well. And I'm definitely willing to take a look at it. And please change my mind about all this, because I would really like it to be super simple. It'd be easy if we could prove that Tyler Robinson did it, but we just can't prove it. There's no way. I mean, and we know the 30-06 is not. It's like that's dead. That's dead. There's no way. That one's a non-starter for me. I'm not buying that soup for $1. Okay, let's talk about war for a minute. Not going to spend a lot of time on this, but let's talk about war for a minute. Let's talk about the upcoming draft. Do you know that Trump has given the AI companies 3 weeks to get together a plan for the United States draft? I want you to hear that. I'm going to just let that sit there for a second. Trump has told the AI companies to put a plan together for Trump has put it out to the AI companies to create a plan to start the draft in the United States of America. Okay? I'm going to play the clip right now. Before we do that, though, I want to show you something that Michael Yon said that made a lot of sense to me. So this war is not a war of President Trump. This is a war that's been going on forever, hundreds of years, actually. And it's not going to stop just because Trump's in or out of office. Okay, let's listen to Michael Yon break it down real quick. I think it's a relatively, let me see, how long is this clip? It's like a minute, a little over a minute. Let's watch this, and then I'll show you the report about Donald Trump telling them to put a plan together for a draft for your children to go fight in a war for Israel and against Iran. Boots on the ground, remember? Stand by.
We've passed the PONA right now, point of no return, right? It's over. And I think, in my view, it's over. The point of no return, we've passed that long ago. It's game on. And I think...
that's what Tucker Carlson thinks. That's what Matt Bracken thinks. That's what everybody I talk to thinks.
Yeah, I mean,
Trump says all the military supports this, and 100% of his supporters support it with no evidence. I've found everybody I know in the military is against this.
I don't know anybody in the military that's for this.
You have more contacts than probably anybody. When you talk to active duty and others and former, and I mean, you know everybody for all your years of war correspondent. I mean, what are they saying?
I haven't seen anybody that's for this. I haven't seen anybody at all that's like, hey, let's go to war with Iran. They all know this is foolish. At minimum, this is foolish.
I opened the phones up, and 9 out of 10 callers that are military are against it.
The main target actually is the United States. A lot of people don't get that, right? And more globally, the globe, to reduce the population to control the remnant, right? So this is huge war. This is big boy war. That's why people that are talking about the MOU and all that nonsense and the peace talks, I'm like, listen, I don't even have time for that. There's no peace talks. It's a distraction. You're wasting my time.
Okay, so need to listen to that. So this war is going to go on. We're in a war right now. It's an energy war, by the way. If you didn't know, it's an energy war, and that's what's going on here. We are in an energy war, and it's going to continue, and it's not going to stop whether Trump's in office or not. They've been fighting forever, and Israel's doing their best to get the upper hand right now, but they're losing. And if we wasn't in there helping them, they would have probably flattened Israel by now. Just going to say that. Now, let's talk about I want to play every time. Hold on just a second. I'm trying to pull something in here. I want to show you this real quick. This is our newest sponsor. And I've talked about it a little bit, and but I want to show you this right here. Let me pull it in here. Hold on a second. Get Masterpiece. Okay, if you go to my website or to the description on the channel, YouTube X or new YouTube, there's an ad on X. I'll update it as soon as we get done here. But if you go there, automatically get 10% off. Okay, it's $52 for a 2-month supply, so it ends up being about $61 a month or whatever. Or $61 for 2 months, so it's about $1 a day. Let me tell you what this does. Gets rid of brain fog. It gets rid of metals. It gets rid of microplastics. It gets rid of fluoride. Do you know that on you? Don't take my word for it. Just listen. Go to your toothpaste and turn it over and look at the back. And it says not for human consumption. You know why? Because it's got chemicals in it, forever chemicals in your toothpaste. You use every day. Your kids use it every day. This is safe for children, adults. I started using Masterpiece about 3 months ago. After about 2 weeks, I started having dreams again, vivid dreams. I'm older, I'm 60, so, dreams have came back, and I have these very interesting dreams. It's reconnecting me to like spirituality in a different way with my dreams and stuff. It's a trip, and I feel better. My skin feels better. My hair feels better. I mean, I've had dry skin forever. I mean, like I carry super glue around in my lunchbox because my fingers just get all cut up and burned because I have such dry skin. It's gone. It's only been 2 months, 2 or 3 months. But you got to go to this website and just check it out, dude. Heavy metals, microplastics, forever chemicals, graphene oxide. I mean, it helps your immune system. It helps your mind. It helps your energy. It helps your consistency, consciousness. It's just great stuff, and it's cheap. It's less than $1 a day, or it's about $1 a day after shipping or whatever. It's about $1 a day, and I swear by it. I'm telling you, especially if you're one of those people that either gotten vaccinated, didn't want to, and got vaccinated, and you've taken the medicine to get rid of the spike protein stuff in your body, but you're still sluggish, or long COVID and all that stuff. This helps. This helps all that stuff. If you if you're a military guy and was being tested all those years with all that crap that they're putting in your body, this will help. Next week, I don't know which day, I don't know, probably next Friday by the time I get it out. We got part 2. I did a big series last night on mind control and the consciousness and all that stuff. I did it last night, and I got a part 2, but I have to cut it up first. I haven't had time to cut it up, but it talks about this stuff being using this stuff to take care of the what's it called? I don't want to speak out of turn. We'll do it next week. But I just wanted you to see this, because when you think about the human body, when you think about what it does, what we do to our bodies just by eating regular food, that's why they always tell you to don't shop in the aisles of grocery stores, because the aisles in the grocery stores are all processed food. You should always shop on the outside. Did you know that? And so what we've done here in our home is we've been eating clean about 10 years. I lost 105 pounds from I started in 2020, and I lost over 100 pounds. And so we eat clean, and I take vitamins and all this stuff. I've been able to cut back on the vitamin intake because this stuff works better than all the vitamins put together. So I just wanted to share that with you because I think it's very important. Now let's play this clip. Let's play this report about the draft. It's crazy. I never thought that we'd see another draft since there was one in the 70s. I thought that they did away with that kind of, making people go to war. If we were fighting for the United States, I'd send my boys right now. I mean, I'd go. But because of the way this war is going, I think it's a setup, and I think that I think that they don't care. They don't care at all about the people. Stand by.
And starting in December, participation in the draft will be automatic, meaning that if you're between 18 to 24 in America and you're male, you'll be automatically put into the draft system.
From when?
I think from December.
This year?
Yes, that is correct, yes.
So between the age of 18 and 25, you think, and what does that really mean? Well, I've not really experienced that in my lifetime. So it means that if you're between the age of 18 and 24, either gender?
No, male.
Male, then you have to sign up for the army.
No, you are already put into a draft.
Oh, you're already, okay, but you might be called upon.
That's right.
President Trump has ordered the Pentagon, the Selective Service, to put out bids, and has given them 3 weeks for AI companies, big tech, to have a plan to implement the draft. Yes, it's the law. If you're a man, when you hit 16 to get a driver's license, you're supposed to register for it. But now it's for everybody, and you cannot opt out of it. And they have it set now to basically implement the draft and then have you called up with your draft number. And they're going to say that, oh, well, we're not sure we're going to do it, but we're going to have it primed and ready. But have you already drafted and ready to be called up off your smartphone? And you saw the neocon that Israel installed in Kentucky. We played his speeches a few months ago, where he said, sure, we can call it the draft basically any time, but we need to go ahead and implement the draft now and have everybody through basic training and then be on standby, because we've got to have a full war in the Middle East.
If you figure, we got to start selective service, we got to get them through all the in-processing, boot camp, trainings, you're talking months downstream. Do we really have that time anymore?
No.
Is that a deeply flawed concept? And so what would really happen if we had to go from what I call a cold start of a pending, world war? How fast and what would really happen if we had to re-implement selective service, i.e. the draft, train, equip, and prepare to deploy those forces? I'm not sure we have that kind of time anymore.
And it's going to take at least 500,000 troops. And we have Mark Levin, who is the mouthpiece of Netanyahu and Trump's brain. We had a clip of him saying that Trump sent in 400,000 troops into Iraq, and that it took 40-something minutes, and that Iran will take 50-something minutes.
The Iranians have been at war with us for over 4 decades. But if we wanted to go to war, we know how to go to war. George W. Bush showed us. You send 400,000 troops in, and you defeat Iraq in about 43 minutes. We can do the same with Iran. Maybe it'd take 54 minutes.
Trump last year got legislation passed to make the selective service mandatory and to raise the age of conscription to 42 from 35. It also makes it the law that computers will automatically register you into the draft when you get a driver's license or when you turn 18, whichever one happens first. They published on the Federal Register, under orders from President Trump via the Pentagon and Selective Service, vendors that have been given less than a 3-week window, AI companies, to compete for the contract to implement those provisions of the law and to prepare for national conscription for the full invasion, ground invasion of Iran. The other big component is we're not going to be indentured servants to Israel and to the globalists for this insane war. The Pentagon has told Trump, do not launch this war, that the mullahs wouldn't fall. They have said a ground invasion will be the biggest bloodbath ever, will make Vietnam look like a walk in the park. This is beyond a disaster. Graham on the phone days in saying he believed they would fall in days or weeks guaranteed, which we've been told he told Trump and so did Netanyahu from information leaked to Axios. Now it's all confirmed. They were wrong. We were right. They ignored the Pentagon.
What we're trying to do is just get a few cities to fall in the next month, get the Arabs more openly involved tomorrow or by the end of the week, and just have almost irreversible momentum.
So we're about to have a national draft implemented for total war and expansion of the new world war we're in a proxy war with Russia, China, through Ukraine and Iran. And now it's not just the Ukrainians as a proxy for NATO and the U.S. Now the U.S. is a proxy for Israel, for the Greater Israel Project. So I don't think anybody can deny Trump's going to get us all killed. And he's been totally erratic and half-baked on this whole thing. And the mullahs didn't fall. And so the next move, as I've warned and Joe Kent's warned, will be to escalate.
And there you have it. So in the next couple of weeks, we're going to hear about the draft. So want something to go out with. It's a little bit lighthearted. What do you think of that? Let's do something lighthearted on the way out here. Let's play this real quick. It's a little lighthearted. Stand by.
I love America. You don't like America? Why not? All right. Well, you're look at your hat. You literally have the juice bag hat on. But you legitimately don't like America because what? They're stupid? And what do you do for a living? What do you do? Yeah, it does. You can't just call an entire country stupid when you have that stupid hat on, and then you don't even know what you do for a living. This is the problem with the left, is that they think that they have these opinions, and then when you go, why do you think that? They go, I don't fucking know, don't you dare ask me that. I have this opinion because I thought it in my head and I don't know anything else. And I don't even know if you're left, but I'm just saying that America forever has had our back and we had their back, and then all of a sudden Trump got in and we had all the loser, pussy, retard, fags in. And they do not know how to negotiate with a superpower that is not woke. And the reality is that there's no place on earth that became woke and got better. Not one. She couldn't handle it. I'm just saying, there's no place on earth that was like, oh, it was falling apart, and then a far left liberal came in and cleaned that city up. It's never happened. All that happens is we have nice places that were run by conservatives, liberals came in, and now everybody's on the street doing fentanyl, and people are robbing cars left and right, and accosting people in the parking lot. And that's the legacy of the left. But America's old. They're evil. They're okay. All right.
All right, that's a good note. All right, so thank you for being here. God bless you all. Don't forget to register for the draft. I swear to God, I cannot take it. Please subscribe to the channel. Check out our sponsors, and we will see you next week. Probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I have a meeting on Monday, so I won't be here on Monday. And God bless you all. Please subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost anything for you to subscribe to the channel. And if you press the bell, then you'll get notifications when I do go live on those days that I do go live that I'm not scheduled. So, and I do that sometimes. So God bless you all. Have a good night, and thank you for being here.